Hi everybody, this is Dr. Kieran Smith. This is the new and upgraded Solas 10600FX fractional CO2 laser. This laser is incredible and offers everything I would want in a fractional laser. I've compared it directly to a dozen or so other fractional CO2 lasers and combined all of the best features that I found from those lasers into this device right here. I have a huge passion for lasers and energy-based devices, both clinically, but also in the knowledge of the engineering and physics that went into making a top quality device like this that I could offer to providers at a more affordable cost. Some things I want to highlight with this laser are the laser arm itself. So this comes from Korea. It has a counterweight or hammer here as opposed to a spring, which is just one point of failure that we don't have to deal with because this just balances the arm to make it really ergonomic as well as very easy to move, and there's no risk of it breaking like a spring, which has been a common problem in lasers in the past. Next, I want to talk about the high precision scanner for this device. It has a very ergonomic grip, which is not typical of many devices. It also has high precision that allows you to use two different modes, which I'll show you in a moment. In addition to this, it's also got the air inflow that comes through here in order to keep all of the dust and debris out of there, as well as detachable treatment heads. So right now we have the biggest size. Also comes with these plastic treatment heads that I designed to make it so you could both reuse them, but also shape them into the size that you truly want for different areas of treatment. In addition, because this is a larger treatment head, it makes it harder to get around places like the nose. So I also designed a smaller spot size for treating those hard to reach areas. I want to briefly introduce the user interface. So here it is, just demonstrating in Solas 10600FX. When I click the screen, it shows the different modes that we can use. My favorite, of course, is fractional. In the fractional mode, we have this light, deep, and fusion setting, as well as the full resurfacing. The fusion mode allows us to do two combined treatments at once, both a light treatment that allows for more superficial surface area coverage, as well as a deep treatment for deeper collagen stimulation and reaching deeper depths in the skin. On this user interface, you'll see that we can change the energy here like so. We can also change the distance between the points. We can change the size of the array that we'll put on the machine, and it makes it easy to keep it a square, or we can change it to a hexagon, circle, triangle. We also have this user-friendly way of ordering how the dots come out of the machine. All of this is on an HD screen and allows you to very clearly and easily use the device. Back here, we also have the classic fractional mode, which allows us to alter to our exact specifications the power as well as the pulse width for doing more advanced treatments.
Another feature worth mentioning is that you're able to save your own presets. So if you click a number here at the top, you're able to input the settings that you want and then click save. And the next time you come back to that number, those exact settings will already be pre-populated.
So now I'm going to demonstrate the fusion mode for you guys. Also, I want you to note that this is a 20 by 20 millimeter square spot size that you can create. This is larger than almost any other device on the market. It allows you to do treatments faster and cover a larger surface area without as many gaps. Here, I'll show you how this works. This is going to fire both the deep mode, followed by the superficial mode. Now, as we zoom in on the dots here, you can see that there were these deeper dots made, as well as these spiral formations that were made more superficial on the skin. This allows us to treat, like I said, both deep and superficial, and very quickly and very precisely. This spot that I demonstrated to you right here is actually a demonstration of what I typically like to use for a moderate to aggressive treatment, where I cover about a third of the surface area of the skin, and I get to both treat deep and do superficial resurfacing at the same time. There are very few devices on the market that even are capable of this sort of technology, and for this you get it at a fraction of the price. And this is super precise. I've tested it both with histology and on patients to know that it works very well, very effectively every time.
Here's an example of some of that histology, and these are actually two different devices where we can see both the ablation and thermal coagulation zones. It turns out that this is actually on the left, the ultra clear laser, and on the right is the Solas 10600FX laser. They look pretty similar. Here's some more histology demonstrating the luminous ultra pulse laser on the left, the ultra clear in the middle, and the Solas 10600FX on the right, all going to very deep depth.
Here's an example of the classic fractional mode that I'll show you here on the paper. This just fires the tinier holes to my exact specifications. Something that I really like about this device that I wanted to improve was that these holes are really tiny. Those tiny holes allow me to get really deep into the skin, deeper than almost any other laser on the market with a single pulse. This machine is incredibly versatile. If I want, I can crank it up to 600 millijoules per point. If we look at that on the paper here,
this will get us to a depth of about 2.5 millimeters, which is incredibly deep and deeper than most fractional lasers are capable of going.
If we want, we can also decrease the pulse width significantly from 10 milliseconds to 0.1 milliseconds. And let me show you what this, if you just want to do a very light resurfacing.
You can barely see these holes. They're not even going through one sheet of paper. This is extremely precise, and it's often referred to as a cool peel treatment.
In addition to the fractional resurfacing modes, we also have the normal or the surgical mode, which allows us to perform more precise cutting of smaller lesions like moles, skin tags, things like that. The device is also capable of doing gynecologic and vulvar treatments for providers who are interested in that as well. I've looked at the histology under the microscope of this laser, and I've treated dozens of patients with it, and I have clinical protocols that match or exceed those of other systems that I can share. I've compared this device to over 12 other devices. I've made this device the best I possibly could. I truly know that you'll love it. You should buy it.